I hope I don't shit myself in the middle of the video. So, over the last year or so, I've been able to acquire a lot of guitars in a very short span of time, and I think a lot of you have been noticing the influx of different guitars that I've been able to acquire, and you have been asking me to show them off. And it's the middle of the year, and I'm also in the process of selling a couple different instruments that I don't use anymore, so I think now is the perfect time to show them off before they're gone. But for now, I think I'll just start in the order that I have acquired these instruments. In the start of this collection video, we have not a guitar, but actually a bass. In case you didn't know, I actually started off with bass first, then I started learning drums, and then guitar was my third instrument. I ended up falling in love with it. But this is the only bass that I have left from that era, and it's also the nicest bass I've ever owned. It's a Warwick Rock Bass Series Corvette double walker. For the longest time, this was my goal bass. This was the bass that I wanted to acquire the most, and they had it on my local store, and I just bought it off the rack. I saved up for over a year and a half to be able to acquire it, and it wasn't that expensive at the time, and it's so cool. It's very heavy. It's got a Swamp Bush body with a 3-piece maple neck, and I think those black lines aren't actually wood. I don't remember what they were, but yeah, this is a fat sounding bass. It's got a bunch of features like parallel and series functions for the humbucker pickups. This was the bass that you hear in all of my videos up until like early last year. Since then, I've been using MIDI bass because it's just significantly easier to get them to fit on the mix. But for all my classic videos, this was the sound of it. Super nice bass. By the way, I think pretty much every guitar that I feature on the video can be found on sweetwater.com, so I'm gonna leave my affiliate link in the description down below, so if you want to check any of the instruments that I show in this video for yourself, you can do it in the link down below. So next up, it's my first electric guitar ever. This is an LTD M10. Luckily, by the time I started playing guitar in 2015, I already knew a little bit of gear, so I had a better idea of what guitar to play, and this was the cheapest and best quality option that was available at the time. I bought this actually in a Guitar Center in Tucson, Arizona, and honestly, for 150 USD, this is a great beginner guitar. This has been the most featured guitar in the history of my channel. Last year, I replaced the stock pickups with Fishman Fluence Moderns, and that made me not want to sell it because it just became my best sounding guitar after that. Yeah, satin black finish, Tunematic style bridge, string through the body, bolt-on maple neck, just a regular old finish, rosewood fretboard, 22 frets. Yeah. Next up is what has been my favorite guitar for the longest time. This is my Jackson Soloist SLX. This is an X series model, which is from their very affordable line, but it doesn't feel super cheap. Like, this was the first time a guitar felt like a real instrument to me, because it was my second guitar was a neck through guitar, which I thought was so cool. The finish originally in this guitar was snow white, and now it's very cream, as you can see. It's got a bunch of stains in the finish. It has aged beautifully. I put a Ford Fantastic stickers on it. I just thought that made it more personal, and I think it looks great. Duncan design pickups, which I don't love, but definitely sound better than most stock pickups from more affordable guitars. Also, my first Floyd Rose guitar. I used to really want a Floyd Rose guitar, and now I avoid them if I can. Bought a bunch of things on this guitar. I've replaced all the internal pieces of the Floyd Rose with titanium pieces from Evertune, Shadow Evertune. Same with the locking nut. The springs on the back are the red noiseless springs now. It also has a brass block for more sustain. And it also has lock-in tuners from Hipshot, which I think are very cool. And I think it doesn't matter if your guitar has a Floyd Rose and a lock-in nut, you still should put lock-in tuners on your guitar. Yeah, I have a very strong love-hate relationship with this guitar because the original pieces that came, the original saddles that came with this Floyd used to snap the G string all the time if I played it too hard, and then in the last couple of years it will snap the top 3 strings. That's why I ended up changing all the pieces. But yeah, I think this is the one guitar that I will never sell because it was, you know, it was that guitar that you see on the store and it's like, man, I need that, and you save up for the longest time so you can get it, because, and you pass through the store and you're like, is it still there? And it was still there. And luckily, by the time that I was able to afford it, it was heavily discounted, so I ended up being able to save some more money after I actually bought it. So yeah, that started my love for Jackson guitars. Because the next guitar that I acquired was this Fender Mexi Strats, which means this is a made in Mexico Strat, which are the more affordable ones, but still feels like a quality instrument. This was actually gifted to me by one of my older cousins because she didn't play. She got this sitting on a case on her old room at her parents' house. She doesn't even live in the same country anymore. And over the Christmas dinner, I think in 2017, she was like, hey, I have this guitar still sitting at home that I haven't played in like a decade. And since Fender on the headstock, if you want it, it's yours. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And it definitely looks old. I definitely want to refurbish some of the pieces on this guitar so it can be in better playing condition. I like that probably the volume knob on this guitar got lost somehow, and they ended up replacing it with a cream tone knob, which I think is so funny, but actually gives this guitar a little bit more personality. And yeah, I wouldn't change that. I think it looks great. I like that it looks a little bit different than the typical Sunburst Fender Stratocaster. It has a cream pickguard instead of the regular white one. It has a maple fretboard instead of a rosewood one. Of course, regular bolt neck. The sticker on it was already ripped off, so it has all the sticker residue on the back. I don't play it almost ever because it doesn't chug, but it is a nice guitar, and I can't get rid of it because it was a nice gift from a cousin that has some history. So I definitely want to keep this guitar and put it in better condition. I definitely want to get this guitar refretted because the frets that it comes with are tiny, and I don't like that. You can definitely feel the wood while you're fretting. But yeah, definitely don't overlook the made in Mexico stuff from Fender. Next up, we have the first guitar I was ever given for a sponsored video, and this was the first guitar that Sweetwater had ever sent me. This is a D'Angelico Premier Mini DC. It's a semi-hollow guitar, which is, again, this is my first ever semi-hollow guitar. It has a little bit different appointments. It has PAF pickups, and they're definitely lower gain pickups. I think these are actually Seymour Duncans. I don't know if they are the Antiques or something like that, but yeah. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the finish is actually like black flake, which is a gloss black with a little metallic flaking on it, which looks great actually. It looks beautiful in person. The cream binding looks so classy, and it's just a very pretty guitar. D'Angelico also has been very nice to me. We've been talking about working together, but it just hasn't been possible. They're very cool guys. A lot of them in D'Angelico HQ are very big fans of Job for a Cowboy, which I think is very cool. Again, like I said, a little bit different appointment. This is actually a 25-inch scaling, like a PRS, as opposed to the most of my other guitars, which are 25.5-inch scaling. Definitely will recommend D'Angelico guitars, especially if you're looking for something a little bit classier, a little bit more blues or jazzy. I definitely don't play this guitar almost at all anymore because it's not super meant for metal, but I've definitely been able to make it sound metal. Almost every guitar that I've shown in this video has been featured exclusively for an entire video. So yeah, check it out if you want. Great start off to my relationship with Sweetwater because the first ever video that they sponsored on my channel was by sending me this guitar, which I thought was great. And this guitar means like a before and after for me in my content creation and music career. And I just wanted to mention that all of this wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for all of you guys' continued support over the years. So thank you. Thank you so much. Next up is another very unusual guitar in my collection, but also a very cool one. And definitely a slipper guitar. This is a Squier actually. It's a Squier Classic Vibe Custom Telecaster Baritone. So if you're seeing it, yes, this is a 20-inch scale length baritone guitar. And it's really cool. This is the first guitar that Fender ever sent me. Shout out to Gabriel Madera over at Fender, which has taken very good care of me. And it's also a great friend. Shout out to him. But yeah, this guitar surprised me once it arrived because the mock-up on Fender's website doesn't do this guitar justice. I mean, it's actually beautiful. It looks like a proper American Fender Telecaster with the sandwich body, the cream binding, the oil stain on the neck, which looks just gorgeous. The top is really nice. I think this is a veneer because it is a pretty affordable guitar. And I have this tuned to drop F. The neck on this guitar is surprisingly slim. It plays super well. So if you're looking for a very affordable nice playing baritone guitar, do give this guitar a chance. Next up is one of the most played guitars in my collection and also my first 7-string guitar ever. This is my Ibanez RG7421. It's not a Geo model, but it's definitely on the affordable side. I think this is a standard model, I think is what they call it now. And for how affordable it is, it's definitely a great playing instrument. Yeah, great heel access. I think Ibanez has been doing a great job with this over the last couple of years. 25.5-inch scaling, rosewood fretboard. I don't think the body is actually walnut, but it has walnut color, and I love that it has a matching headstock. I have this guitar with 10 to 64 gauge strings, and they are tuned to drop A, which is my main tuning. I've written all of my band Grind Gang songs on this guitar so far. The Mario was kind enough to send me some deactivator pickups to put on this guitar, because I didn't really like the stock pickups that it came with, and these are much better. I love the mid-range bark that they have. Actually requested specifically for black pickups with black pole pieces, because the pickups that it came stock with had silver pole pieces, and I think this just fits a look better. Definitely a great first 7-string guitar, because it's very affordable, but also it doesn't feel cheap. There's very good attention to quality and detail for how affordable this guitar is. The neck is a little bit thicker than I would like on a 7-string guitar, but it's definitely not thick. It's just not as slim as I would prefer. It's definitely not uncomfortable. The fact that it's a very flat neck makes it a lot more comfortable. The only thing I don't really like about this guitar is the bridge. The stock Ibanez bridge is not super comfortable to me. It's not my personal preference. I will probably get it swapped eventually. In less than a year, this guitar has built a lot of history with me. Saw the inception of my band, which I now am very excited about, so yeah. This was the second guitar that Sweetwater ever sent me, and I do want to give a massive shout out to Jackie Grelou, which was my first Sweetwater rep. She was the one that contacted me at first to collaborate with Sweetwater, and I've been working with it consistently for a year and a half now, and it's been great so far. Nothing but great things to say about them, and Jackie knew that I was really looking for a 7-string guitar for the longest time, and this was not part of the sponsor deal that I have for the video at the time, and she just sent me this so I could have a nice 7-string guitar to work with. She went out of her way to make possible me even having a 7-string guitar at all, and I just can't thank her enough for her, because this guitar was the inception of many great things for me, and it has a lot of meaning. I've written so many songs with it, and Jackie doesn't work at Sweetwater anymore. She retired right after I got this guitar, and for a part in a way present from her to me, this was just awesome. So yeah, thank you, Jackie. You're awesome. Next up is the second guitar that Fender ever sent me. This is a Fender Player 2 Stratocaster. This is one of my prettiest guitars. I specifically requested this color, it's just so pretty. I think I got sent this one around the time the Player 2 series was released. This is also a made in Mexico Stratocaster, and it's so nice. One of my favorite things about this guitar is the neck. The finish on it is like an oil finish, but it's not slippery at all. It almost feels, and it almost looks and feels like a roasted maple neck, which I think is incredibly nice. I love that the pickups on it are cream, but the pickguard is white. And this humbucker on the bridge actually chugs super hard. I have a couple of videos where I use this guitar for all of the songs, and it holds up for metal tuning great. I have 10 to 54 gauge strings on it, and it has been my main D standard drop C guitar since I got it. It has the classic style bridge, the classic style tuners, and I love how the neck is almost a satin finish, but it has a super glossy finish on the fretboard. It's so pretty. Maple fretboard, maple neck with I think this is a walnut strip. I believe this is an older body. This is probably another guitar that I will never get rid of because it's just so nice. I have now 3 Fender Stratocasters, and this is definitely my favorite one out of all of them. The next guitar that I got was the third guitar that Fender ever sent me, and my third Fender Stratocaster, as I said previously. And this is a very cool color. This is a candy cola finish, and personally has a bit of a metallic flake on it, which makes it look so pretty. It's very elegant. This is actually a Fender Standard Series Stratocaster, which is a little bit more affordable than the Player 2 series. Something that I noticed that I found interesting was that the neck is quite a bit slimmer than on the Player 2 series, so I like a little bit how that feels on my hand, but I do like a little bit better how the Player 2 plays, I guess. I think Alder Body 2, Rosewood Fretboard, Maple Neck without the walnut strip, which I actually missed. Since this is a Standard Series model, this is actually made in Indonesia, the other one was made in Mexico, and the Player 2 is a little bit nicer for sure, but this is definitely not bad at all. I actually like how this bridge feels a little bit better than the one in the Player 2, because the Player 2 has the classic style bridge. This is a bit of a modern design, which I think is significantly more comfortable, and I also like how the saddles on it are brush chrome. This pickup also barks quite a little bit. I just raise it up a little bit and it chugs. It chugs pretty hard. I think I have it drop D right now. The only thing I will really change on this guitar is maybe having the pickups and the knobs be cream color instead of just white, or make the pickguard cream with the white pieces. I don't know, I don't love how white pieces with white pickguard looks. I think it looks a lot classier when you have that contrast. But yeah, shout out to Gabriel for taking such good care of me. Next up is a very different guitar from the rest of them. This is my Zeru Guitars Void Series 8. This is my first 8-string guitar and also my first headless guitar. Shout out to CJ from Zeru Guitars, which have been talking with me for a while about maybe sending me something to check out. This has not been featured in a full YouTube video yet, but it might be in the future because it is a pretty good guitar. I love the color on this guitar. Look at that. I think this is a Nebula verse. I think that's what they call them. It's an electric blue to green fade, and then it's very clearly a metallic finish, which looks so good. It's also my first guitar with Seymour Duncan pickups. This is a Nazgul on the bridge and a Cynthia on the neck, I believe. And it's not great. Some other different features on it. It has a roasted maple neck, which feels great. Don't remember if this was a rosewood fretboard or a Niato fretboard. I think it was rosewood actually. I think rosewood is making a comeback because it had been discontinued on many guitars for several years. But yeah, I asked him if he could set it up to drop E with 9 to 80 gauge strings. He did. Love the position of the knobs, very ergonomic and out of the way. Something that I would change about this guitar is I would make the neck profile a little bit thinner. It's definitely not thick. Definitely doesn't feel like a baseball bat at all. It's definitely comfortable, but I think for an 8-string guitar, it could be a little bit slimmer. Maybe that's just me. I have quite small hands for a man, so I do prefer a thin neck. I think this is a 25.5 to 27.5 inch scaling. Again, it's also my first multi-scale guitar, so many firsts on this guitar. And yeah, definitely have to make a full YouTube video using just this guitar. Maybe for a drop E riffs video. This is a smaller company, so definitely go check out Zeru Guitars. Oh boy. Man, this is one of the most exciting guitars in my collection. This is my Beastie Rich Ironbird Prophecy Mark II. I've been saying Mark I from the longest time, but this is actually a Mark II. The Mark Is, I believe, have the upper horn a little bit more pronounced on this side, and also a dome cone with a single pickup on the bridge. But yeah, if you've been following me for a while, you might know that the Ironbird is my favorite guitar shape ever. Hate Eternal is one of my favorite death metal bands of all time, and ever since I saw Eric Rutan play one of this, I've been wanting ever since. I thought this is the coolest shape ever, and this is really nice. This is another guitar that maybe doesn't come through in the pictures or in the videos, but this actually does have a bit of a pearlescence to the finish, so it definitely has some metallicness to it. Like I said before, I don't love the Floyd Rose bridge, but this is a Floyd Rose 1000 series, which is definitely nicer than the special one. But these guitars, or at least the current production models, don't come without a Floyd Rose, and I really wanted one, so sacrifices were made. This is the latest guitar that I've received from Sweetwater, and they were kind enough to set up for me in C-sharp standard with 10 to 52 gauge strings, so I didn't have to deal with that when it arrived. Really clean ebony fretboard. The fretboard on this guitar is super clean. There's no sharpness at all. These are, I believe, stainless steel Jumbo XL frets, and I love that. This was my first guitar with Jumbo XL frets, and I swear by them. Are the only frets that I want on my guitars now. Another cool feature about this guitar is that it has a gloss finish, but the The finish on the neck is actually satin, which is so comfortable, plays great, plays super fast, has a DiMarzio super distortion pickup on the bridge, single bridge pickup, which I love. First guitar with a single bridge pickup. I don't play guitar solos or clean almost ever, so I don't really need a neck pickup. These guitars actually typically come with black hardware, but mine came with chrome. I believe it's because this is like a B stock kind of batch of guitars, so they have quite a bit of a handsome discount on Sweetwater if you want to get it with the chrome hardware. This is also my first guitar with Grover tuners, I believe. Yeah, super nice. The neck is not necessarily thick, but it feels rounder than in other guitars that I have, so it definitely feels different, but it's super comfortable. The shape of the neck is something that you notice, but you don't really care about. It's like, huh, that's different, but it's definitely comfortable. But yeah, I love this guitar. I'm still super stoked that I actually have one, especially as my first pointy guitar. This is awesome. Now we have a very cool run of guitars. Let's start with the bottom of the wall. So this is one of the first 3 guitars that Schecter sent me. This is an E1 SLX Evil Twin, and it's such a beautiful guitar. I've been wanting an Explorer shape for the longest time. One of my favorite things about this guitar is that it looks super stealthy and slick on the front with the black satin finish, the black pickups, the black hardware, the ebony fretboard. But then the back is just beautiful with this black stain on the mahogany body wings and the 7-piece neck, which is, I believe it's maple, walnut, purple heart. It's awesome, it feels great, it's a super balanced guitar. The Ironbird has crazy neck dive, which is the only bad thing I can say about it. This one doesn't have that at all. It has a healthy amount of weight, like it feels like a solid weight that feels great. It's also one of my first 3 guitars that has lumen lay side dots, and you can definitely see it on the darkness. These are modern pickups, which I love, and actually this do sound a little bit better than on my LTD 25.5-inch scaling. I like the Explorer shape a little bit than the V shapes. Of course I like V's, but Explorer feel a little bit better to me because it feels more like a riff guitar, whereas most V's feel like solo guitars. I love that the logo on the headstock is inlaid instead of just printed on. It comes with locking tuners, which all guitars above like $700-800 should come with. The only problem that I have with this guitar, and this is not on Schecter but more on Mexican customs, is that they actually smash it. So it has a little bit of damage underneath the tone knob, and they actually smashed the switch in. So I actually had to get it replaced the day I got it, which was really sad. Fortunately, my local guitar shop got it fixed in less than 24 hours. They had the exact part that I needed to swap out in stock, and this is actually a little bit more of a heavy duty switch on it. So I guess this makes the guitar feel a little bit more personal than your regular off the rack model, I guess. But yeah, I love this guitar. I have it in B standard and it plays like a beast. I just recently wrote an entire power violin CP on it, and it's a very inspired instrument. I love it. Would recommend. Next up is what I will say is my favorite guitar out of my entire collection. This is a Schecter KM7 Mark III Legacy. Man, this guitar is just awesome. When I first started working with Schecter, I knew that I wanted to get a KM7, definitely the KM7, whether it is the Mark II, the Mark III, whatever, has been a guitar that I've been wanting ever since I started playing guitar. Keith Merrow and Jeff Loomis, when they weren't conquering this stuff, were actually one of the main reasons that I wanted to start guitar instead of just playing bass at the time. I got this specific finish because this is the exact finish that the guys in Knoll actually play, and it looks so much more beautiful in person. Literally, videos and photos don't make this guitar justice. The flame top on it is just magnificent. It's a work of art. The back on it, I believe this is actually a mahogany body with a 3-piece maple neck. This is my favorite feeling neck ever. It's an ultra thin C neck, and I know the specific neck profile on this guitar because this is the neck profile that I will ask from now on if I can get a choice on it. This is also my first guitar with a hip shot bridge, and now I understand the hype. This is my favorite feeling bridge ever. I love it. This version of the KM7 actually comes with longer M7 pickups. The original Mark III actually came with Keith Merrow's signature Fishman pickups. Now comes with passives. And this is my first time trying longer pickups, and they're great. They're very barky. They're kind of similar to the deactivators, but they definitely have a little bit of a different character, which I still like a lot. I love the super thin body. It's so comfortable. You can play this guitar for hours and not get tired of it. This is my new drop A guitar now, and probably the next grinding material will be written and recorded with this guitar. And this guitar is seriously a work of art. I want to get the other KM7 finishes for this exact guitar because I love it. I can't say enough good things about this. Next up is my final Schecter guitar for now that I own. This is a PT Black Ops 6 model. When I was choosing what models I wanted from Schecter, this was definitely one that I was really intrigued about checking out. First of all, because it's a single bridge pickup with a hip shot bridge. I love this configuration, just so simple, stripped down. Just a riff machine, you know? And it has actually an open core Fishman motor pickup, and I don't know why, but I do like this specific version of the Fluence modern pickup better than the original one with the cover. For some reason, this particular version sounds so fucking thick, and I love it. You know, regular 25.5-inch scaling knit through construction. I believe this is a Swan Push body. I might be wrong. The last mean rest video that I did was with this guitar, and I have it tuned to drop G sharp with 12 to 62 gauge strings, and it holds up that tuning like a champ. Ebony fretboard, which super clean ebony fretboard, all blacked out, no inlays, and it has this huge lumen lace side dots, which when I go to sleep, I can definitely see them from afar from my bed. Also, this guitar has the logo inlaid on it instead of printed on. Locking tuners again, which you need locking tuners in your life. And definitely wanted to get this guitar because my buddy Jeff Kaler, which actually is the reason that I ever got in contact with Schecter, uses this guitar as his main touring guitar, and he swears by it. He says it's super solid, super reliable. So of course I had to get it, and yeah, I love it. Definitely inspires me in a different way than the E1 or the KM7. Love the brush finish on the pickguard, just so awesome. And definitely, this is definitely a very unassuming guitar. This is just a riff machine. And last but certainly not least, the final guitar in my collection and the most recent one is this Jackson Pro Plus Series Modern DK. This is a Jackson Pro Plus Series DK Modern Evertune 7-string guitar, gold sparkle. This is a dinky. It's a Jackson dinky. And man, is it beautiful. I've been wanting this guitar since it was announced in late 2023. And man, I understand the hype now because it's just awesome. Definitely feels awesome in your hands. This is also my first Evertune guitar, which I was really intrigued about checking out. I definitely was going a little bit crazy as I was learning to set it up, and now that I got it down, it's great. Still stays in tune all the time. It's great having a guitar that you can just pick up and you know it's gonna be in tune and it's gonna be ready to record, which in my case is great. I believe this is a basswood body with a 3-piece maple and walnut neck. Great stuff. Locking tuners again, great, you need those. This actually comes with Fishman Fluence Classic open core pickups, which is my first experience, and these pickups feel a little bit more like very high output passive pickups as opposed to the moderns, which definitely feel more like active pickups. This sound a little bit more focused, more mid-rangey, I guess. The other ones sound very thick. Now that I've had the chance to try both of them, I definitely prefer the moderns, especially for the kind of music that I do, which is like slam, brutal death metal, and a little bit of deathcore. But these are definitely great. One of my biggest concerns about getting an Evertune guitar was on how chunky it was gonna feel on my palm as I was playing, but it's actually more seamless than I expected. I don't know if you can see how it raises on the body it is, and this is something that I've been asking myself, because I remember like 4 or 5 years ago, I asked Mike Stringer, actually from Spirit Box, before Spirit Box blew up. He got a Gallagher 7-string guitar with an Evertune, and I asked him how chunky does it feel on your palm when you're playing it, and he said that it definitely feels a bit chunkier than your regular hardtail bridge, which was a concern of mine because I don't like super chunky bridges. I like a bridge that just feels seamless and out of the way. But I don't know if it's either that Evertune has been making a slimmer design for their bridge, or if Jackson routed the hole for this guitar a little bit deeper so it will stick out a little bit less, so it will be more comfortable to play. Either way, it feels great. This ebony fretboard is just super clean. Oh man, the craftsmanship on it is awesome. And of course, the elephant in the room, this beautiful gold sparkle finish. I call it champagne burst because it looks like champagne in person. It definitely lives up to the hype. Man, this guitar is also a little bit heftier. I think this is probably my heaviest guitar. Maybe it has to do with the fact that it has an Evertune and there's a spring for each string, and that's a lot of metal that you're adding to the body, which definitely would increase the weight on this guitar. But it feels so solid. It's definitely quite a pricey guitar, and maybe you ask yourself, well, is it really worth it? How much difference does it make from like an $800 guitar? And once you got it in your hands and you feel the craftsmanship and you feel kind of like the attention to detail all around, like the small details on it, it's just you understand, because it's just, you need to hold this kind of guitars in your hand to really understand how well made they are. It's something that I didn't really understand up until recently, that I was able to acquire much nicer guitars. I haven't even had this guitar for 3 full days and I'm already in love with it. Yeah, this is one of my bucket list guitars, and I'm so glad I was able to get it before they discontinued. This is the first guitar that Jackson has sent me. I gotta give a big shout out to Mike Tempesta over at Jackson. The next Mean Riffs episode will be made with this guitar. I just gotta get it set up to the string gauge and tuning that I'm gonna use for that video. Also gotta give a massive shout out to John Matos, which you might know as Abiotic John, which thanks to him I was able to get in contact with Jackson and get this guitar in my hands. And thank you, because this is awesome. And thank you guys for still watching and supporting my channel and all of the things that I've been doing, because all of this wouldn't have been possible without you, so thank you. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm gonna leave in the description down below my affiliate link to sweetwater.com, so if you wanna check any of these guitars, they will be probably available on the website, if not something really close to it. This video is not sponsored by Sweetwater, but I just thought I should mention that. That's it for today's video. Please tell me in the comments down below what is your favorite guitars that you own, and maybe the story behind that guitar. I would love to hear from you. If you would like to watch a video full of mean and nasty riffs, you can watch it right here. All my social media links and my Discord server link will be in the description down below, as always, so please go ahead and check it out. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.